It's scary giving up your security, the lifestyle you're used to. But for us, it's not really about giving up. It's about starting a new chapter. I think the most dangerous risk of all is spending your life not doing what you want and hope you get the time to do it later. We all say, oh, I'll do the trip next year, or I'm just too busy with the kids, or my job is too demanding right now. And the truth is, we are all not promised tomorrow. Something will always get in the way of our dreams because our daily lives is what's taking over. We get so caught up with other things and we tend to either put what we want aside or live through other people, especially through social media. One day you're going to wake up and you're not going to have time to do what you've always wanted. Friends change, jobs change, life changes, people come and go in your life, and life doesn't stop for anybody. Why are you waiting for the right time to take that trip or the right time to do something bold? Because honestly, it's never going to be the right time. Something will always get in the way. So take that risk and just go do it before you run out of time.
Hello, Logan. Thank you for coming here today. Rolling.
Lights, camera, action, baby.
After you two first met, started dating, how did you guys initially start traveling?
So I saw a couple people on YouTube where they threw a dart at the map of the United States, and wherever that dart hit would be where they would travel. I like that concept, but I kind of wanted to make it like a bucket list type thing. So Rachel picked 15 places that she wanted to go. I picked 15 that I wanted to go. Didn't matter if it was the same places. All that mattered was that we drew, well, I get 4 vacations a year, so we drew 4 places that we wanted to go. And that's kind of how our journey started of traveling. And then I showed her the Vanlife videos, and it just kind of, why can't we see all the places in between these places that we want to go experience? I like to go and see, when we're there, but the travel part, we've been to several great places, Denver, Texas. It's all about the journey to get to those places. This way we're able to spend more time traveling to those places and more time in those destination spots.
So when Logan and I first got married, our first vacation that kind of set this whole passion for getting outside of our bubble was Glacier National Park. When Logan and I were doing research, that was actually one of the places that we picked out of the basket, and we were both like, Glacier National Park, where even is that? And then when I started doing research, we found out that it was basically at the very top of the US, and when we went, we found out that there was so much more to the US than our little tiny bubble that we have been traveling in for years and years. So that kind of lit a fire into, we need to go see other places other than just the South. So yeah. For as many places as Logan and I have traveled to, I would say my personal favorite experience, not really where we were at, but it was more of just what was going on. When we were in Utah, we went to the Salt Flats and we had rented a convertible, a sports car, and we brought it out on the Salt Flats. And when we were driving really, really fast on the Salt Flats, there was just a point of freedom, I guess. And it was so cool because that area is so massive that we felt like you could just go and go and go. And it was just really neat because we have never been to a location that was like that. It was so white and just, it was so massive and it was awesome. And then later on that day, we were also driving around Antelope Island, which is also in Utah as well. And we saw bison, hundreds and hundreds of bison, and they were everywhere. And there was a point where we were driving the car and all of the bison just started to surround the vehicles. And it was such a cool experience because being here in Florida, like, you don't have wildlife like that. So it was so cool to have these huge, powerful animals that were just everywhere. And it was definitely an experience that we will never forget.
Rachel was the middle girl. She also had a younger brother. And she was always the imaginative one, the creative one. She had an imaginary friend that she talked to. We even had to have an empty chair at the dinner table for her friend. She would say, don't sit on Gammy. She was an outdoor child. She loved being outside. She played in the woods. She climbed trees and made forts. And one of the kids' favorite things to do was to flood the sandbox, and then they would play in the mud. She, even from a young age, she was always sort of out of the box. I remember one day she came in from the backyard and she said, "Mom, I peed on the deck." And I said, "Rachel, you need to come in and go to the bathroom." And she said, "Well, why? The animals don't." So she was, I guess I could say she was not a rule follower.
Logan as a child, he was a good child, and I think the biggest memory I have of his childhood was that he really never cried a lot. He cried more when he hit teenager than he did when he was a child at the house. Good kid, he'd do what you said. He was a little mischievous.
very sneaky.
Okay, tell me more, Mandy.
My favorite memory is him climbing up in the chair in grandmother's kitchen and finding a dozen eggs sitting on the table and turning around and just dropping the eggs behind the chair to see what they did.
How old is he when this happened?
Oh, 2 or 3, probably 2 or 3. He was quiet. He would just sneak out of the room and you wouldn't know where he was.
Yeah. When it got quiet, that's when you had to worry about Logan. There's quite a few years between the two of them, so, well, 9 years? Or
9 years.
9 years between them, so, she looked out for her little brother, for the most part, during those younger years, helping him be a good kid.
Yeah. I tried.
I remember the one like at swimming pool, he would make friends with anybody and everybody, especially it didn't matter where you came from or what your status was in life. If you were fun, he could have fun with you.
Yeah.
We, as a family, loved to go camping. We tent camped in Florida for probably 20 years with my son-in-law and our kids. And so when we were going to meet Logan, the first place we met him was camping. I remember it was Martin Luther King long weekend, so it was January, and even in Florida, it was still chilly, but that was our preferred time to go camping because there were no bugs and we could have a nice fire at night. So that was kind of his initiation. Well, if he passes the camping test, then he might have a place in the family. And I can say he passed with flying colors. My oldest granddaughter, and we remember how old she was at the time, maybe 3 or 4. She climbed up on his lap. We were all sitting around the campfire, and he was sitting in one of the camping chairs, and we were just talking because that's what we did when we went camping. We spent time enjoying each other's presence, and she climbed up on his lap and fell asleep. And it was, check that box. He fit. It was seamless. He wasn't fazed by the size of our family. I think there were 13 of us that weekend. And he just got along with everybody. And he genuinely seemed to be enjoying himself. He wasn't forcing anything or uncomfortable. And he fit. The earliest I can remember of their travel days was when they would go to a different destination during each one of his vacations. He had 4 vacations a year. So they had done the bucket with the suggestions, and they would draw one, and then that's where they would go. So that's really the earliest I can remember. The only memory I have before that is they did go to Disney a lot. They did spend a lot of time in Orlando. His parents had a timeshare down there, so it was a convenient vacation for them, and they both had a love for Disney.
We go on a family trip every year pretty much.
Right, we've always been on family trips. We've done St. Augustine, Disney, Washington, D.C., Arkansas, Myrtle Beach.
We'd go to Washington, D.C. and walk all around that place and find funny stuff, that kind of inside joke stuff that we always communicate to each other.
Absolutely.
Arkansas, we rode horses in the mountain and
Feeding
Made
the
it
fish
back
at the
alive.
pier, and
feeding the fish.
St. Augustine, I can remember walking down the beach, pushing Logan in the stroller.
Myrtle Beach, Mandy had a broken arm,
did.
so we had to watch out for her there.
Disney, just, meeting the characters, and I think Logan's favorite part at Disney was probably the old Toontown, or the Mickey and Minnie's houses.
Oh, that's right. That's
Playing in
that's
Mickey and Minnie's houses. He liked those. Too bad they're not there anymore. I think as a family, we've all loved seeing new places. We've made it a point to always go somewhere different and to explore different places. That's been Dad's thing. He hates to go back to the same place more than once, but we make him do it every once in a while.
We'll go back, and if we go to the same place, I like to do something different at the same place.
Right.
I have actually been on a lot of different trips with Rachel and Logan. They're literally my favorite people to travel with. And we've been to a lot of different places. My absolute favorite experience with them is when we were in Washington State. We were up in the peninsula area by the Hoh Rainforest. We were staying at Lake Quinault Lodge.
Jeff Dahl is a hard-working man. He's built up a good physique from all the heavy lifting and squeezing into small spaces over the past 12 years as part of the maintenance staff at the Lake Quinault Lodge. But the outgoing man who jumps at the chance to chat with clientele shudders at the thought of going up to the attic. When he does, it's usually for something small, to get some supplies or make sure some wiring is functioning. Sometimes I want to run, but I tell myself, you're a full-grown man, Jeff. But I have to force myself to go in there. Dahl doesn't let himself believe in ghosts, but when he talks about the many strange things employees and guests claim they've witnessed, lights flickering on and off, glass shattering when no one is looking, the pinball machine in the game room running by itself, some guests have said that in the middle of the night, they've heard someone playing the old piano that currently sits in the lobby of the Lake Quinault Lodge. Inexplicably, the sound is coming from the attic. Vonnie McAdam, a server at Lake Quinault Lodge, remembers a day 9 years ago when one of the chandeliers in the dining room spontaneously fell to the floor. When she and the other employees checked it, there was nothing wrong with the light's chain.
So we just got to Lake Quinault. Quinault.
However you pronounce it.
And this is our room.
Wow. So cool.
What happened? You just forget to give it to you?
Yeah.
This is so cute.
It's gonna look so much better in the morning when you see the views we have. Because right outside our window is the main lawn, and I can, the lake is right there.
All right, so we are very excited. So we're gonna go ahead and get our luggage and get settled in. It's like 10 o'clock at night. It's gonna be great.
We were staying there in May, and it was right before the busy summer season started, and the water was freezing cold. It's glacier fed, so there was a sauna at the lodge that was really nice. So we went and pretty much cooked in there for about 30 minutes, and at the end we were completely drenched in sweat. I mean, it was dripping everywhere. And we decided that we were gonna bust open the door, run across the lawn, and dive right into the freezing cold lake and do a little polar plunge. So going from extreme heat to extreme cold was a magical experience. And later that night, we bought a bunch of junk food. We grabbed the covers off of our beds. We went to the main lodge area and sat by the fireplace. And we just laid out on the floor in front of the fire and just ate junk food and goofed off. And that was just so liberating, and definitely one of my favorite travel experiences with them.
Okay, so we keep hearing noises from in the restaurant. Logan went to go check it out. We're just here hanging out in the lobby by the fire. Just over here chilling. Just us three. And we keep hearing noises from over there, which is the restaurant. Like doors opening and all that. Dude, there's someone in there. Baby, don't go in there. Baby, don't do it. Oh my God. Babe. What is that? Okay, so just to let you guys know, this is the restaurant where we've ate at twice now, and behind here is like a bar area, and we keep hearing doors open and like some weird noises back here. So Logan went back there to check it out because it's like 11:30 at night. What is that?
So it's from upstairs, but they have a huge kitchen. It's amazing.
So are you sure it's from upstairs
Yeah.
and not in the kitchen?
No, it's from upstairs.
Oh my gosh, that was so freaky. Okay, so we're just gonna hang out here. We got snacks and drinks. And we're just hanging out here in the lobby. Because we're from the boathouse, so we're special.
We're VIP. Because we're both.
We're boathouse.
No trip goes completely smooth, and there's always little hiccups along the way. We've been on trips together where we've dealt with like flight delays that caused us to stay in a hotel overnight. We've been put on a bus in the middle of the night and driven a couple hours over to the nearest airport. But I would say the worst travel experience I've ever had with Rachel and Logan was early in the morning. They always wake up for work in the wee hours of the AM, and I do not. And Rachel did not change her alarms. And at literally 4 a.m., her alarm goes blaring off in the middle of the hotel room, waking everybody up. But instead of turning off the alarm like any logical human being would do, she just hit the snooze. So 15 minutes later, it goes off again. She hits the snooze. 15 minutes later, it goes off again. She hits the snooze. Literally, that thing went off probably 8 or 9 times before I eventually just sat up and just looked right at her and said, "Are you just gonna keep hitting that snooze, or are you gonna turn it off?" And she rises up out of her slumber and goes, "Sorry." And I will never forgive her for that.
It's so true. It's so so true. I'm so sorry, bro.
It's whatever. It's whatever.
Oh my gosh. I literally remember that like it was yesterday. You were so mad.
The beauty and the grace, nothing we would change at all. A feeling that is deeper than the ocean, raging to the sound of us. The rush of the unknown, awakening these untamed hearts, reaching out beyond our hesitations, knowing how we've come so far. The veil is getting thin, more than just a glimpse in time, speaking to the soul of every longing, calling it to deeper light. The light and the wilderness, we were made for all of this. You alone, my confidence, ready for it all. This is who we are, and this is where it starts. 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 We were made for all of this.
When you first told Rachel the idea of traveling like this, did you think that it would happen?
No, I never thought it would happen. I thought it would be just a good fantasy and we would travel by plane to see everywhere else. And, you know, traveling the world, seeing everything, but isn't this cool? Look at how these people are doing it, kind of thing.
And when you were telling her this idea, what was going through your mind?
That we would have a good time looking up people that are traveling in vans and, you know, traveling the world and seeing different stuff in the United States.
Well, when they told us they were going to build out the van, I thought it wasn't going to happen because I knew Logan. I never known him to really be in a project, but apparently Rachel's a pretty good supervisor. So to see it to completion, he'd done a few things with me. And I showed him a few things, but I don't think I trained him in any degree. So I just didn't know if they could do it. I figured it would just be a shell of a van and they would just, you know, travel in it. And then he'd still come back and do his job and just do it during his vacations. But that's how it caught me.
So what were your thoughts when they mentioned traveling full time?
You know, I don't put it past the both of them to make it happen, to be able to travel and full time and, you know, survive and enjoy where they're going. You know, they're into each other They really seem to be into each other. I can't imagine, his mother can't imagine it, living in a whatever that 8 by 10 foot area is. But we admire them for feeling like they can do it, and I'm sure they'll be happy.
You guys have grown up in Niceville. You've lived here for a long time. How's it gonna feel having your little brother constantly somewhere else and not a quick drive away from you?
I'm excited for Logan and Rachel to be able to go and do, but our entire family is here, and so it's hard to imagine somebody not being here. I don't know, it's just difficult to think about. I think it's just the fear of the unknown and what could happen, and just them being a distance away that is not just a car ride, to be able to help and take care of something for them, or something happening and it taking a day or two to get to them. Just unknown. I'm excited for them, but just don't know what's going to happen and how to feel about it.
Good. Let's take a little break.
I can take McDonald's napkins. They work.
Logan and I rented a van in Colorado to kind of get a taste for van life and to make sure that this was something that we really wanted to do before we invested so much money and time. So we went to Colorado, rented a van that was already built out, and actually the first night we got kicked out of 2 different places. So one of the nights we were parked in Garden of the Gods, and we didn't know we couldn't park there until about 11:30 at night, when we got a knock on the door, and one of the rangers said, "Hey guys, like, you can't exactly park here. I have to lock the gate, so you gotta go." At that time, we were like, okay, well, we've never done this before. This was like our first real experience of sleeping in a vehicle. We didn't know the area at all. So then we found a Walmart that was like 8 minutes away, and we went there, parked. It was in the back. We didn't realize that anything would be an issue. It was also at the peak of COVID, so a lot of stuff wasn't open 24 hours. And we got another knock at the door. So we once again had to move. The guys were really, really nice though. There was actually a tire shop that was literally across the street. So he was like, "You guys can go park over there. There's other vans there, so you are welcome to go there." But the first night of experiencing van life in a city that we didn't know, it wasn't our van, we got kicked out of 2 locations. So
yeah, it showed us what we wanted out of van life what we needed to look for versus accommodations of a certain type of vehicle, because we were looking at the ProMaster, rented the ProMaster, and found out that it wasn't tall enough. So it really put into perspective, okay, what's the next option? We need something taller. Ford Transit's taller. By the end of the week, I think we both came to the conclusion that we could do it. It could be an adventure. It's definitely going to be an adventure, but I think we both came to the conclusion that we could do it.
Rachel and I met when she was hired on at Superior Residence, where I was working as the dietary cook. She was hired as a dietary aide, and that's when we met and became friends. We just instantly hit it off. Well, she was, really quiet and sweet at first, and then when you got to know her, she was really goofy and crazy and liked to talk, and I love to talk, so we just hit it off. And then she started talking one day about how she does makeup, and she does makeup tutorials on Facebook and stuff. I have the channel. So I was interested in that, so I started asking her questions, because as I get older, my makeup wasn't looking good, so I was asking her advice about it. So she was giving me advice, and we just found out we had a lot of interest in stuff. I think they're a good fit for the van life because they just love traveling, and they take 2 or 3 vacations a year. And every time she comes back, she's like, "Oh, I wish we could have went this place. I wish we could have went further. There was so much more we wanted to do, but we had to get back and get to work and everything." And they just love camping. They love being outdoors, hiking, and they love that kind of. And when I started watching on YouTube several different channels, like Kara and Nate and the Endless Adventures and the Beans doing it, I was like, wow, that would be so cool. I'm jealous. I was like, no, you don't like traveling that much, and you camping and stuff. But then I was like, I know who would be great for that lifestyle. I was just like, oh my God, because I had been thinking that all along, and I hadn't talked to her about it because she had been off a couple days. And I was like, oh my God, I was just thinking that you guys would be perfect for that. And I told her I was excited about it.
Bringing our future home back the day that we went and picked it up was so surreal, because we had been planning this for a good year before even buying it.
It was also exciting because looking at the empty shell that it was, oh, we can put this here and this here and make this the sectional or whatever, and it was all still in the planning stages. So yeah, it was exciting, nerve-wracking, all the above. So much going on, and I never had such a big to-do about going and picking up a vehicle.
And just having the research on what type of van, and then trying to find one, it was a lot. But bringing it home was an overwhelming feeling of joy. And I think Logan and I both kind of looked at each other on our way home, and we were like, there's no turning back now.
Spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on. Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something to celebrate.
We got the key! So we did a thing today. We bought a van. So this is a Ford Transit 2020 cargo van. This is the high roof extended, and it is now just an empty shell.
Soon it will be home.
As soon as we're I'm just so excited.
It's beautiful.
Hi.
Look at it.
I know, isn't it huge? Hey, Papa.
Hi.
Well,
It's gonna be a camper. It will be a camper.
You just walked the van.
do what?
You just walked the van.
Yes,
Yeah, they're gonna do everything themselves.
just so the van.
They're gonna redo everything.
Come in here, Mom.
I wouldn't. I'd leave it. I'd leave it in just the way you are.
Oh yeah, and just throw a mattress in there.
No,
Dad, what are you thinking?
I'm not. Thank
Do you like it?
So far.
Isn't it cool?
It's so exciting.
I know. It's really happening.
So have you got like plans for this?
Yes.
Inside already?
Yep.
All of it.
I was looking at your picture. I was trying to figure it out.
Dance along, yeah. If you feel it, just dance along. Got to keep the feeling going on and on. If you feel it, just dance along.
Well, I give him a lot of credit for a lot of guts, because that takes a lot of guts to make that decision to begin with. And then just to say we're going to do this. And I think it's exciting, because as I had told her, you know, you got to do it while you're young. Because, you know, as you get older, I told her, don't wait my age and then think, oh, wow, I wish we would have done that. That would have been so much fun, you know. So you just got to do it now. And I'm excited for them. I mean, I'm not even going, but I'm just so stoked for them. And so we've had a lot of conversations about this from the first moment she, you know, we talked about it. She mentioned it, and then I asked her if she ever watched the travel channels on YouTube, and she said, oh yes, I have some that I watch, and that's where I kind of got my ideal from. And she said, but I wasn't really sure about it and stuff, and then I was just like, no, you got to do this. This is absolutely what you two were made for. I said, you got to do it. So we just had long on the phone, at work, texting. In fact, one night when I was off the next day, I usually stay up late. So she texted me and said, are you up? And I said, yeah. And she said, we're calling you. And then she said, we had just totally made the decision. Logan's in on it, and we told the families, and I'm sure they got a little bit of guff from the families about it, because like I said, it is a scary thing, and I'm sure the families were worried about them, like giving up their home, you know, everything conventional, you know, the cars, the home, your job, everything like that everybody's supposed to do and have and stuff. So selling all that and just traveling a van, most people say that's crazy, but I think it's awesome. If I was younger, I'd do it. My husband and I was younger, we would do it, but we have health issues, and we're just at that age where it's not very feasible. But so I think it's exciting. But yeah, we just talk about it all the time. And then when she came in and said, we bought a van, I was like, okay, they're committed now. They're committed to this because they spent the money to buy this van. So now I know that they're actually going through with their word of what they're going to do. So,
You know, I've been through so many seasons in my life that I have the perspective that life should not be lived with regret. And when I look back on my life, I don't have regrets. And I don't want them to look back and have regrets either. I know that Rachel has a good work ethic, so I'm not concerned about this being a financial disaster for them. I know that Logan has a good work ethic, and that they are they made a plan, and then they worked that plan. This has been a long process, a well thought out, well prayed over process, and it's not something they're just rushing into impulsively or spontaneously. They have put a lot of time and thought and effort and prayer into it. So, and you know, like I said, looking back at my life, it may or may not last for the rest of their life. It may be for a season, but this seems like a good season for them to take on this adventure. I think if she was my first leave the nest, it would be a lot harder. She's the third one to leave the nest. So I've already had to say goodbye to my oldest, already had to say goodbye to my youngest daughter. And they don't live in proximity where I can just get in the car and go visit overnight, or, you know, even for a weekend. So I think emotionally for me, it's a little bit easier to let her go because I've been down this road twice already. Now, am I going to miss them? Definitely. But one thing that I am excited about is I don't live in the same place year round. So the season of life that I'm in right now is my husband and I live in Florida 6 months, and we live in Maine 6 months. So for those 6 months we're in Maine, I wouldn't be near her anyway. And I'm so looking forward to them being in the van without the constraints of work schedules, where they can come and spend an elongated period of time with us in Maine, because they both have visited and they both have fallen in love with it, and that is one of their destinations that they want to spend time and explore. So I don't feel like I'm losing, I feel like I'm gaining.
So when you guys started to build out the van, what would you say is the very first major problem that you encountered?
Getting everything straight. It's nothing straight in the van. It's all, you know, depending on where we were sitting at the time we were building something, it was, all right, that's 90 degrees, and then no, it's way off. The right angles don't exist, and kind of thing.
And that was a little challenging because, I mean, no vehicle is a perfect shape. There's nothing that's an exact rectangle. There's a lot of curves.
It's not, doesn't have a foundation. It's always constantly moving. So depending on how you park that day, even from backing into a spot to pulling into a spot, it's off. So no, there's no right angles. You can't. It's impossible. So just depending on where we were at, that's 90 degrees.
Yeah, because instead of having a concrete foundation like for a home, you have a chassis, basically.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Oh, she would call me sometimes in tears, and I think the biggest frustration she would express to me was having to do it over and over and over, making mistakes. Because the one thing that I most admire is they didn't know how to do this when they started out. They had no experience. They had no knowledge. Everything was on-the-job training. You know, they learned as they went, trial and error. And so she would call me with the errors and be very discouraged and frustrated with herself. And so I was just glad to be able to be a supportive listener, because knowing Rachel, she just needs to vent and just discharge that emotional energy. And then she can pick herself up and figure out what the next best thing to do is. You know, my mama's heart wanted to come and help and rescue, but I didn't have the tools or the knowledge or the actual tools that they needed anyway. So I really couldn't be helpful. So my biggest way to help was behind the scenes in my prayer closet. I did seek God and His will for them, because that's always my priority. Is no matter what I think or no matter what I believe, is what is God doing in my kids' lives. And He reassured me that this is His plan for them. And so when I worry, or when I try to imagine what I can't imagine, that's what I always go back to, is this is God. And if this is God, God's a God of details. And so He will give them, and Rachel's relationship with God is she seeks God, and she is open to what His plan is. So I know that where there's two-way communication, she can't lose.
The hardest part of building on our van was definitely the bathroom. The bathroom was the most challenging. I think it's one thing when you're dealing with electrical, which is a scary task on its own, but it's another thing when you're working with water, because water can go in all these little tiny parts of your van that you might not know of until it's too late. So making sure that when we did our bathroom, that it was done right. And we actually had a huge, what I like to call, disaster, because we had to move the entire shower after it was built, which was probably one of the points where we thought, we can't do this. We cannot build this. We don't know what we're doing. Why are we doing this?
All right, so yesterday we put up all the supports for the shower, and then not really yesterday, but yesterday we found out that we put this in the wrong spot. So we ended up having to add to it to move it to accommodate for the ribs underneath the van that were gonna block the hole for the shower drain. And now I'm gonna hand it off to Rachel so she can show you exactly what we're talking about with the ribs. So
Hi guys. Okay, so Logan kind of already explained the oops. Oh God, the lighting. The oops that we did yesterday. Something happened where we measured multiple times and something still happened where it just didn't line up. So I'm gonna take you under the van so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, so I don't know how much you guys can see, but that right there is the front driver's tire. This is where you pump the gas
and then it goes in this tube, and then in this giant gas tank. So that is in the middle of the van underneath. So that means we have this area to drill, this area to drill, and this area, which is where we are trying to drill. So, and then that right there is the back driver's tire. So as you can see, there's not many places where you can drill, and the gappage between the ribs is not very big. So you have to be very precise on where you can place everything for the holes for the gray water tank. Like, why are you so calm right now?
I'm freaking out.
Oh my god, I'm so nervous. Oh my god, my heart is beating so bad. Ooh. Okay, so basically what Logan is doing is we are drilling a pilot hole to ensure that we can have a good spot underneath. Okay, wait, hold on.
Check the hole.
So that we know we have a good room and we're not gonna hit anything. So we figured a little tiny hole would be a lot easier than a big one. So I'm gonna check right now and see if we're in the clear. Oh! It worked! Ah! Babe!
I need a 2-inch.
We're good! It worked! Hey, this is a huge win!
No, this is good.
This is a huge win!
Once we got it done and Logan drilled the pilot hole and we weren't going to hit anything, it was quite the day. So the windows in the van. I'm sure Logan went off on this because this was his probably biggest stressor. And it was for me also, because when you buy a new vehicle, the last thing you want to do is cut giant holes in your vehicle.
Scariest thing I've ever done was put in those windows.
So this was extremely nerve-wracking, and it's one of the things where if you mess up on it, that's it. Like, I don't even know if there's a way to fix that.
Cutting through a part of the van that, you know, everybody always tells you you don't cut through the body of a vehicle. You always leave the outside is the outside. You can repaint it, that's fine. But cutting through into the inside of it, you're structurally messing with it. So yeah, it's the scariest thing that I've ever done. I mean, the Max Air fan is a smaller hole and it's on top, so you could patch it. But I mean, we're talking a piece of metal that's a wingspan.
And there is no undo.
There's no. As soon as you plunge the jigsaw that we used in, there's no going back after that. You have to cut the hole.
So when it came to actually cutting that piece of the van out, logistically, how did you guys tackle that task?
Called over our friends Seth and Noel and said, hey, Logan's hands are shaking so bad that he can't even hold the jigsaw. Come over, because he has experience with cutting Air Force metal on base that's not too far from here. And he just kind of walked me through the process. Just take your time, don't get nervous, don't expect yourself to screw up, everything will be fine, you have it all, trust the process. And after that, it was, okay, let's get one. And then when Seth was here, he's like, okay, let's go ahead and do the other one. And then the nerves started all over again, but we made it through it, and the windows fit perfectly, and I was glad to have him. He was unexpensive when it come to cutting the holes.
So I have a lot of theater background in my life, so anytime Rachel needs help with filming, I am always there to collaborate with her. So there's been a lot of times where I've come over to help film, whether it's in Atlanta when they initially picked up the van, or various phases of the build, or filming a documentary. And I kind of go into work mode when I'm there to film. I get very analytical, and I have the frame in mind, I have the storyline in mind, and I don't really actually put myself in that moment until it's over. And then I look back and I kind of reflect on the drive home, and I'm just thinking like, wow, I'm really impressed with what they can do. I mean, completely renovating a cargo van that's empty and bare to the bones is a lot of work. It's a lot of research. It's a whole world that I am not familiar with, and I frankly don't have the desire to get into. So I've been very impressed with them, and a lot of the hiccups that they've had along the way, a lot of the phone conversations with my sister bawling and wanting to give up, I completely relate to. I understand how hard it can be, and the fact that the two of them have persevered and actually seen this project through, it's really inspiring.
Today requires 3 shirts and a hat. Now for Florida, that's pretty dang cold. I think today is about in the 30s. We have butt space, guys. We have butt space. So that's good. It's official. We're destroying the van. Oh my gosh, I don't think it fits. No. Now, we might have to cut this for the 900th time.
Good morning, world.
Baby, we have a kitchen countertop. I mean, oh my god, what is this called? I don't even know. Do I know what I'm doing? About 70%.
It not only is a new vehicle or a new house, but it's a new lifestyle. What are some things that scare you about leaving your job and selling your house?
Everything. It could break down while we're in, BFE of anywhere, and now your house is broken and you have to spend money to fix it. Well, you don't have a job, but you got to drop 10 grand on a new motor. It's the unknown that scares you on the travel side of it. I've been with Coke for 18 years, going on 19, and it's something that you really gotta, you've been with a company that long, you really gotta think about what you're doing and where you're going. I think we're gonna work little seasonal jobs and, you know, try to get established in some places and really make it the journey to get to the next destination, so on and so forth. Really try to see what's out there. I mean, there's always help wanted signs. There's always dishwashers that needed. So, and being that I hold a CDL, it not hard to find a CDL job. I've worked with my hands for 18 years, so always physical labor.
I think this is such an easy answer for me. I'm not really a materialistic person. I'm not someone that gets attached to things. I would much rather spend my money on adventures and going and seeing new places and just that whole lifestyle. So selling everything and totally changing our lives into living out of a van is actually quite easy.
We'll have a little nest egg selling the house and the condo, you know, the trucks, everything that we have. We'll work for a year before we take off, but we'll have a little bit of a buffer zone there. And we've come to the conclusion that we don't want to get under a certain amount of money when it comes to that. So wherever we're at and we're getting close, we'll stop, we'll work, you know, build everything up, because staying in the van, that's free. That's what we have. The most expensive thing right now is places to live and food. We can buy food, we can go to the grocery store, we can go to the Dollar General and pick up something to heat up, and then accommodation's going to be in the van. So
When I was first diagnosed, it was probably 10 years ago. I was in my early 20s. And I got the notice on, this is going to be a health issue that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. And when I'm not on my medicine, I can't walk. So leaving our safety net and leaving what we know now is scary. But I think with my doctor, I have talked with them, and we are going to work out a way to where we will change my medicine so that I don't have to go to the doctor's office every 5 weeks and sit there for 3 hours with needles in my arms. There are so many other ways that I can get help so that I can still live the best life that I can, and I can still be able to travel. You can also get medicines mailed to you. You can also get medicines sent to different pharmacies around the US. So I think with the technology nowadays and changing my medicine, I know that I will be okay. And honestly, I'm kind of giving everything to God, because I know that this is what Logan and I are meant to do, and I know that God is going to look after us, and I know everything is going to be okay.
I think safety is a big thing that I'm concerned about. Health-wise, I know Logan's, very healthy. I know Rachel has battled some things, and I worry about that in where they would be if there was to be a flare-up. They're able to take care of it and have taken care of it to this point, but I worry. I know his mom worries that they'll be the farthest apart away when it happens too. And his mom likes to take care of things. She'll put it on her back to make sure it happens. So I guess we'll see how that goes and hope and pray for the best.
I agree. Just making sure that they stay healthy and that they can continue to do what they want to do is it's all we care about. I mean, making sure that they get what they want out of it.
I think scared is a stronger word than what I feel. I think I have a little bit of apprehension about her health. And it's only because I don't know the answers. I haven't wanted to ask some of those questions because I want them to feel my support and not my concern. It's really important for me for them to know that I am behind them 100%. But honestly, in the back of my mind, I do wonder what her health care will look like, being on the road, being not in a specific location where she has an established doctor and an established pharmacy. And so I don't think I'm scared about it. I think I wonder. But knowing Rachel, I know she doesn't take her health lightly, and she does take care of herself, and I know that she will work it out no matter where she is. So I'm just trusting her with that. Because the other thing that factors into her health is stress and also physical activity. And so her life is going to look completely different than the way it does now. It takes a lot out of her body physically to work full time. I am in awe that she is able to do that. And just the stress of life. Bills, and you have to work because you have bills to pay. This season is not going to look like that previous season at all. They are going to have some bills, but they're not going to have the big bills. And so I'm optimistic. I'm optimistically looking forward to her needing infusions less often. although it is a progressive disease, it is influenced by stress and physical. She's always done a physically demanding job with very long hours. And so I'm hoping that that will help her health and not make it more necessary for her to receive her medication. I'm hoping less often rather than more often.
So, what is it about this change that outweighs all the fears?
I think Rachel's willingness to coax it along and really push us to, you know, we have a plan. We're not going to falter from that plan. You know, this is going to be a good thing for us, and, you know, trusting the process.
Would you say that you're primarily making this decision for your wife, or do you genuinely want to do this?
It's mutual. We both want to do it. Ever since my uncle passed away, I wanted to see more and more of what the world had to offer. It's, you know, he retired, he was diagnosed, and then never got to do the traveling that they wanted to do. I feel like to honor him, I feel like I can't hold back on this. You know what I mean? It wasn't fair to him, and it won't be fair to me if I hold back on it.
What do you think he would say to you if he was here?
You know that ball's not straight. You know that's crooked. I think he'd be game just as much as, you know, our biggest supporter. He would like it. He would think that it's a little bit of me and a little bit of Rachel all tied together. He was a big outdoorsman, so, you know, going and staying in the woods for weeks at a time, that was who he was, and I think he'd be excited about it.
How does the rest of your family feel about this?
Nervous.
Well, you said you're nervous, so is it a different kind of nervous?
Mine's more of an excited nervous. Theirs is I think they're afraid to see us go and not come back, or go and come back with our tails between our legs saying that this was not what we wanted it to be.
I think I'm mostly concerned about financial ability, making sure that they have the ability to do everything they want to do.
I think my biggest concern with them doing this and being, you know, traveling around in your house is that in the coming years, things are obviously going to happen with his grandmother, with, who knows, with me and Pam. We just hit 65, so we're in our senior years. So we'll be very happy for them as long as things are going well, but just, you know, don't know what the future holds. And I think that's the biggest.
You don't want them to be too far away if something were to happen.
Yeah, but I understand that's how they got to go to see and do what they want to do. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see how it goes. You know, with the life's happenings on their end and our end.
Do you guys think that they are making a mistake by moving into a van and completely changing their lifestyle?
I don't think they're making a mistake. I think they're doing what they want to do, and I'm all for it. But it doesn't mean that there's not concern and there's not worry.
Yeah, I don't think they're making a mistake. I just think it's something that is totally foreign to me and his mom. And maybe we will wrap our heads around it once it's taken place. But we grew up, you know, you work a job, you be as successful as you can locally, and, you know, be part of the community and this, that, and the other. And traveling is for vacations, not for living. But the last time, try not to be too detailed about it, but we went down to Tampa 3 weeks ago, and we saw a ton of vans on the road. I mentioned that to his mom. So they have company out there.
You notice them more, the vans on the road, now that that's what Logan and Rachel are doing. It's kind of like you get a brand new car and you didn't notice that car until you got it, and now you see that's all you see, you know.
I think that so many van lifers you see out there, there's obviously comfort in numbers, and Logan and Rachel are very good at making friends. I hope that doesn't ever backfire, you know, because of their ease to get along with. But I think that they've already seen a situation where it's been uncomfortable, so I think they'll be cautious, and I trust them to be.
Yeah. I think one piece of advice is just to realize that the family is struggling with their choice. Don't be mad at us. We still love them and we want them to do it. We want them to succeed, but it's hard for us to come to terms with it. We have to, they'll be gone before we can figure out how we feel about it. I mean, we're excited, but it's still hard.
I think on our end, they just better have some plans to come through Niceville here and there. And we'll celebrate that.
Or be somewhere that we want to visit so that we can go there.
Right.
See the cool things and remember us and invite us to come see them.
When I envision them actually on the road full time, there's a lot of emotions, but worry is not one of them. Yes, there are concerns and every kind of potential hiccup that I could foresee for them, they have an action plan for, and they have backups. So I've been reassured through a lot of conversations with them. So for that, I'm not worried. There may be some situations they get into where it is completely unpredictable and they don't know what to do. But what they do have is an entire network of people who will, at the drop of a hat, come to their rescue. And I'm one of them. And they know that they have a whole section of their contacts in their phones that they can call if they ever need help. And no matter what, I'm always going to be there for them.
I think what I'm most looking forward to when we finally hit the road full time. It's such a hard answer. It's such a loaded question. I think the two things that come to mind is freedom. I feel like I'm gonna have such like a sense of freedom of being able to go wherever we want, being able to stay there as long as we want, and just experiencing different parts of the world. One of the things that Logan and I are also really wanting to do with the van is help with women's shelters. We are going to also volunteer at the homeless areas around the U.S., feeding them, giving them jackets, socks, things like that they need. Logan is also really wanting to volunteer at an animal rescue. So that's something that we're both very passionate with, and I think the van is going to give us that opportunity to go to all of these places and to help others and just to make their day better.
After seeing the van and seeing a lot of the locations in their route for their game plan, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous. I think the freedom to go wherever you want, whenever you want, for however long you want is very enticing, and I would like to have a little piece of that, I'm not gonna lie. So when Rachel asked me to help her plan out their route and all of the locations that they had on their wish list, it was music to my ears. I absolutely love planning travel just as much as actually traveling. So I'm kind of known in our family as like the family travel agent, because when it comes to like a family reunion, I handle the logistics. And that's just something I'm really passionate about. So she shows me this list that had over 600 different locations all throughout the United States, Canada, Mexico, and beyond. And looking at that, I just think, wow, how are we going to organize and calculate all of that data? So what we did is we sat down together, we created a map within Google Maps, and we plotted out every single location that was on that list of 600 plus. From there, we divided it into regions of the country based on the landscape, based on the climate, based on typical weather patterns. So we created multiple different regions that are within the country. From there, we decided to have them travel from an east to west perspective and eventually make their way up north. So that way they could play to the seasons as their advantage. So they're gonna spend time in the southern United States in the winter, and in the summer make their way up north, and in the fall and spring they were gonna be in the middle of the country. In the winter they would be in Mexico, in the summer they would be in Canada, and the logistics of it was actually pretty easy to plan out once we decided on that approach.
So you start in Florida, you're gonna go all the way up the East Coast, then you're gonna come back down, and then you go up through the Midwest, you'll come down right through Middle America, right through the Great Plains and tornado country. Then you're gonna come down through the huge mountain ranges, and continue on those mountain ranges back up. You're gonna go through some of the hottest places on the country, follow that all the way down to Baja California and Mexico, loop back up. Once you get to LA, you'll start on the Pacific track. You're gonna follow that up all through British Columbia on the Pacific coast, all through Alaska, and then you take on all the provinces of Canada. Wow.
So we have over 600 places that we will be seeing. How cool is this? Wow. That's crazy. So yeah, so after...
Wait, have y'all been finding more places too?
We have.
So after looking at this map, I think we're gonna be traveling for more than a year, right, baby?
Oh yeah.
This took...
So, is there like a little part right here that's all just cornfields and
That's literally just wide open space. When I was looking at their overall list of those over 600 places, there were a lot of places on there that I had never been to that I've always wanted to go. There's places that they had listed that I have actually been to. And so I was able to add a few specific locations within that city region for them based on personal recommendations for what I enjoyed when I was there. And then there was a lot of things they had on there that I had never even heard of. So I kind of made some little notes of my own and did some research and found out that it's going on my list too, because there's a lot of places I would love to meet up with them to experience as well, as long as I can fly there and stay in a hotel there, and they can drive and stay in the van, and I will meet up with them during the day and we'll have loads of fun. I do know they have a lot of rural areas on their bucket list, and those are also places that I want to go. So I would definitely meet up with them, and I guess, you know, there's going to be times where my only accommodation is going to be the van. There's no way all three of us can fit on that bed, I can tell you that. And when I think about it, I don't know where I'm gonna go. There's not really a floor that has space unless I'm sleeping like a vampire in a coffin. It's not like I can just lower the seat in the front. And, you know, sleeping on the roof's not an option with the solar panels. So I don't really know exactly how I would do it. However, I think that's part of the experience. Whether I have to throw up a hammock on a tree outside, or if I'll bring a little tent of my own, I think that would kind of be part of the experience, and it would be kind of cool for, you know, a night or two, and then back to my bed.
The best advice I could give them is to just enjoy it. Drink it all in, take it all in, get all the memories, and just, you know, be careful, be safe. And she's watched hundreds of videos, the do's and don'ts, and they've talked about their safety and how to protect themselves, and, you know, first aid kits and stuff. So they're pretty smart. They're not just going into this blind. She's done tons of research about it. They've even rented some vans and went to Utah and Colorado and stuff. So they've kind of seen what it was like to see if they really would like this guy. But like I said, my best advice is just drink it all in, enjoy it, enjoy each other. I think this is going to make them even closer, because they're going to be daily with each other and dealing with things, and there's going to be obstacles, you know, obviously. Everything's not going to be sunshine and roses every day, but they're going to deal with it together as a couple, and I think it's going to make their marriage stronger. And, you know, just because when you get older and stuff, like I said, you sit back and look at all the videos they made and pictures they took, and just, you know, just be amazed at the life that they had.
First time seeing the van.
Dun, 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 dun.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
What?
Oh wow. Very nice. It's the last time I didn't see a shower last time I was here. Wow.
Oh my goodness. This was just an empty shell when I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You up?
Yeah. Oh, your seats swivel around.
Uh-huh.
How pretty. Oh my god. This is not. Oh, look at that shower. Tall enough for Logan?
Yeah.
How nice. Oh my god, I can't believe y'all did this all by yourself. This is just like, you know, the brand new ones that people make and stuff and people buy. Oh my god, I can't believe y'all did this.
We built this.
Now this is the bed.
It looks so different.
Oh my gosh.
Almost.
Okay, go in it.
I love it. Wow.
It looks like Chip and Joanna Gaines threw up all in here.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
All right. Believe it.
It smells good too.
Have we showered in it yet?
Yeah, I have.
And it works.
Mm-hmm.
How awesome.
Have you cooked on your stove yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. No fire up? and,
Nope.
Cool. Your refrigerator? Does it work all the time?
Yep.
Like the inverter doesn't have to be on for the fridge to be on. It stays on all the time.
And the cushions come together for a bed
Yep.
that time?
Can't believe it.
What do you think?
I can't close my mouth. Wow.
There's a coffee bar, so.
It doesn't look like a van.
I know it doesn't look like a van, does it? It looks like a little house.
Rachel, you have such a gift
Aww.
for making things so homey and so inviting.
Aw, Mom.
Like, this is where I would want to be if I didn't have Yankee. Oh my goodness.
This shower. Like, I can actually turn around in it and stuff, you know?
I know, isn't it cool?
This is really cool.
Unbelievable.
And there's even a little ledge so Logan can sit down when he shaves his legs. I don't want to touch anything, you know?
Oh, you're fine. So this goes down, and then these move over, and then it makes a king size bed.
Wow. And it's long enough
Mm-hmm.
for Logan too. I can't believe he cut holes in the van.
I know.
And y'all said he was doing that. I was like, oh my god. That is so pretty.
So the curtains I made.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Those are nice. I like the color.
And then in the pillows they zip, and there's our clothes in the pillows.
I'll be darned.
Our jackets and things. Yep.
I'll be darned.
And then look.
Is this storage under here?
Yep. The table goes down,
Okay.
and then these move over,
Oh.
and it makes the bed.
It makes a full. There's a center part.
And all the
lights? How do the lights work? Are there light switches? Cool.
How nice. Oh my god, I can't believe y'all did this all by yourself.
Hey,
Oh
we
my
have
God,
water.
running water. I like the colors in here. They're light and bright.
Thanks.
Makes it all, it's not like a cave.
And look, we have all of our
Yeah, I
spices.
see that. That is cute.
And then look, we have a coffee bar because Logan and I love coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this extends so you can have plenty of counter
Yes, you got a lot of cabin space. Oh, that's comfortable.
Yeah, see? So this will move.
Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. That's cool.
See?
And then like there's storage and stuff when you open
Yep.
the back.
So underneath here is the water and plumbing. Underneath there is all of our bedding. Underneath me is storage and our electrical.
Yeah, we got clothes in there.
You have batteries and solar,
Mhm. Yeah.
so you can go off grid.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Pantry. I wondered what.
Oh my god!
We have a pull-out pantry.
What a good way to maximize
I
space.
saw the handles and I thought it was just for decoration.
And then the one underneath there,
It's a hamper.
our laundry.
What? Where does it go?
It's just
To the washer and dryer.
Oh, to the washer and dryer. Gotcha.
Isn't that smart?
And you guys installed a mechanism that dries it and folds it for
Folds
you?
it. Puts it away.
Puts it right back above your head.
Gotcha. Cool.
Hey, Rachel and Logan. This is DJ. I just want to tell you guys how proud I am of you at the decision you made. I'm getting a little cracky here, but I love you guys, and I think this is an amazing step in your life. And like I said, I couldn't be more proud. And it's just amazing. And I'm looking forward to all the great videos and stuff that's going to come out of this. And I'm just so excited for you guys. The new chapter of your life. It's going to be so exciting. And just take care of each other and just enjoy it.
All right. Logan and Rachel, just want y'all to know that your mom and I love you. The puppy dogs love you. And you're always welcome wherever we are. If it's Niceville, if we go to Alabama or wherever we go, you're always welcome to come see us. You'll have your house with you. We probably won't ever come stay with y'all, being the situation, but we will definitely come visit you anywhere you want us to come. And, you know, we are excited, but we're scared. So just understand that. And I'm sure in due time, we will all have a better understanding of this.
We've had some amazing Zoom meetings with all four of my children who are spread out across the United States. And yes, it's not the same as hugging and touching and being there in person, but it's better than the opportunities that we had before COVID, which were nothing. We didn't know. We learned a whole different way of life during that season. And so I think that that's something that we can take into your adventure. We can communicate. We can, more than the phone. We've always had the phone. We've always had texts. We've always had email, but now we can actually have a face. So I'm excited for you. I am proud of you. And I know that you're doing the right thing.
Okay.
And Logan, I trust you with my daughter. I've seen what good care you take of her. And I know that she will be your priority. And I also see your heart for God. And I know that He will be leading you and guiding you, and that you will be seeking Him. And just know that I'm going to be praying. And I love you both.
Baba, this is our new start and our next big chapter moving forward. And I know that me and you have been planning this for the past 3 years. And I know at times I have been a pain. I know at times I have been like, let's go work on the van. Times where we both didn't really want to. And thank you for never pushing back. Thank you for working when you didn't really want to. And most importantly, thank you for sparking this interest in us traveling this way. And I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. I wouldn't want to be on the road with anyone else, because you're my person. You're my best friend. And I know everything is just going to work out. And especially when we get a dog. I think that is what both of us are looking forward to, is getting our dog. So, but yeah, I love you, baby.
All right, so in your own words, I just want you to speak your heart, say whatever you want to say to Rachel and Logan. Take as much time as you need. Look right into the camera.
Logan and Rachel, we're excited for you. We're happy for you. We want you to have a great time. We're still scared, but we know you can do it.
Perfect.
We're a team. We're going to do this. There will be arguments. There will be fights. There's going to be good moments. All in between. It just matters that we have it together. And it's going to be the time of our lives.
Hey y'all. Rachel, I love you very much. You have always been somebody in my life who has helped me and has been a rock. And I want you to know how much I appreciate you. And I'm really excited for what you guys are about to do. It's very bold, it's very brave. It's something that most people will never have the guts to do. So I want to commend you and compliment you for making this choice. I'm gonna miss you so much. But I think that the advantages that you're gonna have from this new lifestyle is going to definitely outweigh the disadvantages. And I think this is a really good decision. And I think it's exactly where God wants you to be. Logan, I have seen Rachel go through a lot of tough relationships in her life. There's been a lot of times where she has not been treated the way she should. And I want to thank you for being an absolute answer to prayer. You are patient with her, you are kind, you are nurturing, you're supportive. And I cannot thank you enough for being a good man. And there is nobody else that I would trust for Rachel to be in their hands than you. I'm her only brother, and so I've always felt a duty to protect her and to make sure that she is safe and she's cared for. And you have done far more than I ever could have. You have been so pivotal to her happiness and to her success. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you, and I am so grateful that you're my brother-in-law.
My home is not a highway, a straight road to follow, one well-known lone pavements I roam through wide open space with no maps or foot tracks, no turn backs. I'm in deep. I'm still out here and I'm still moving along, still wondering. I'm still at it, I'm still keeping on, still wondering. I am not lost, I'm still just wondering. My aim is distant, far away. I'm believing in long reaching. I'm leaning in and I'm hanging on. I'm still out here and I'm still moving along, still wondering. I'm still at it, I'm still keeping on, still wondering.
found.